Okay, gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Keith Warren, and some of y'all may know me as Tanek127 Gaming. Welcome back to another Crystal of Atlan video, and guys, in today's video, I want to talk to y'all about Endgame. Now, I'm going to be splitting my Endgame guides into two parts, parts 1 and 2. However, if you want to stay up to date on all things Crystal of Atlan, make sure you are liking today's video and subscribing to the channel if you are new, and let's go ahead and get on into it. So like I was saying before, I'm going to be splitting my Endgame guides into two pieces. One is going to be covering levels 50 to 55, and the next one is going to be covering 55 to 60 and everything that you know you're doing beyond that. So Endgame's going to start in Crystal of Atlan roughly once you're level 50, or as soon as you hit this lovely little area right here known as the Void Expanse. And I gotta say, I'm kind of getting some Final Fantasy XIV Mordona vibes when I look at this area back from the Final Fantasy XIV 2.0 days. Just want to throw that out there. You know, just a little hangout space for players. Giant little shining thing in the middle. There was like this little spinning crystal thing in Mordona or whatever. I don't know. It just kind of reminded me of that. But anyway, we're getting a bit of off topic here. So, Endgame actually really isn't that complicated, and this video is not going to be very long. Because, long story short, your focus in Endgame is, especially, you know, once you hit level 55, and I'll give you guys a good farming method to get there, you want to focus mainly on getting your Void Shadow gear pieces and upgrading them as high as you can. The reason for that is because you guys remember back when I was back in the beginner's guide when I was telling you guys that there were a few different stats for your character you would need to focus on, especially in Endgame. Well, one's your power level. Obviously, you know, that's always going to be the main stat of your character's power. At the end of the day, that's, you know, the accumulation of your gear, your abilities, and, you know, your leveling, just everything you do. That's always going to rise. Then your gear rating is your typical score of your gear itself. And then, of course, the nullification. Well, as soon as you hit Endgame, they start bringing nullification into the fix. And as you guys can see right here, if you look at the top left on my screen, I have a quest called Nullification Barrier. They want me to hit a nullification level of 2,000. Now, this is done pretty simply, and it's by getting your Void Shadow gear. This gear increases your nullification level. So, long story short, and as you guys can see, I recently just hit 55. That's why I'm equipping a lot of mine right now. And as you guys can see, just by equipping those three pieces alone, my nullification on my quest right now, it went up to 1,030. But however, to equip this gear, sorry, I keep forgetting the name of it. In order to equip the Void Shadow gear, you need to be level 55. Now, the easiest way to hit level 55, I'm going to recommend two different farms. Okay, they're completely up to you. The first one, you can do the Abyssal Purgatory Chaos Breakers, recommended level 56 to 60. However, once you're around level, I believe it's 52, 53, they actually let you run this, and you get 520,000 XP per run. Now, the thing about this run is, right, it's not as much XP as the other run I'm going to show you guys, but this one goes quick. This boss is really fast and really, really easy to kill. The one I'm going to recommend for you guys here is in the Void Realm. This is what I farmed over and over again. The Ravine in the Void Realm. You get 1 million XP every single time you run this. It's two bosses. Now, they're pretty beefy bosses. I'm not going to lie. They both have about 75 health bars. But if you have a decent group, you can run these. You can do these runs fast, quickly, and I kid you not, you can get through these in about 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how good your group is. Probably sometimes even quicker than that. The Void Realm Ravine, hands down, I think is the best XP farm for getting to 55. But yeah, guys, pretty much your goal right now is you're going to get once you hit 55, you're also going to get the quest to unlock your talisman, which is another gear piece that's also going to help increase your nullification, your gear score, make your character even more powerful and stuff like that. But like I was saying before, long story short, your goal right now is just to farm your Void Shadow gear pieces by running the dungeons and getting the proper equipment needed to craft these pieces. You want your Void Shadow breastplate, you want your gloves, your pants, your shoes, And then for your jewelry, you're going to be focusing on the null shade piece. You want the null shade necklace, you want the null shade bracers, etc., etc., etc. And then, of course, like I said, there's going to be a quest that takes you to do your talisman, which I'm going to do right now. And we know how those quests work, so that's why I'm not even going to bother explaining that. You literally get the talisman at the end of the quest. Just like, when you unlocked your jewelry slots and stuff like that. There's going to be one for your talisman, and then once you hit level 60, there's going to be another one for your artifact, which I'm sure you get the item at the end of the quest. If not, I will correct myself and actually update what you do in the next endgame guide. But anyway, guys, like I said, just focus on hitting 55, getting your Void Shadow gear and leveling that all the way up to plus 10. That's going to be your goal right now. Y'all enjoyed today's video? Smash that like. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.